When a woman hurts you, don't react with anger, stay calm and composed. Your silence holds more power than arguments. Set firm boundaries, withdraw your attention, and focus on your growth. Let her reflect on her actions. Always remember, you choose who deserves your energy and respect. When a woman hurts you, the natural instinct is to react immediately. Maybe you want to argue, defend yourself, or prove her wrong. But the truth is, reacting instantly is the biggest mistake a man can make. A reaction shows that she has control over your emotions, that her words or actions can shake you. And the moment you lose control of yourself, you give away your power. The strongest thing you can do in that moment is to hold back and simply observe. Observation is not weakness, it's strategy. It's the art of staying still when everything inside of you wants to explode. When you observe instead of react, you send a silent but powerful message. I am not easily moved. You're showing her without even speaking that her attempt to hurt you does not define you. This forces her to pause and reflect. Most women test a man not because they want to destroy him, but because they want to see what he's made of. When you stay calm, you pass that test. She may expect you to lash out, lose composure, or beg for her affection after being hurt. But when you don't, when you simply watch with quiet strength, she realizes that you're on a different level. Observation gives you clarity. In silence, you can see her true intentions, her patterns, and her character. If you're always quick to react, you're blinded by emotion and you miss the truth. But when you just watch, you begin to notice things you never saw before: her tone, her behavior, her consistency. You learn whether her actions were just a moment of weakness or a reflection of who she truly is. This awareness helps you decide what she really deserves from you. Remember, reacting is easy. Anyone can shout, argue, or throw accusations. But the man who controls his tongue controls his life. By staying quiet, you create space. That space unsettles her. She expected drama, but instead she gets stillness. She expected chaos, but instead she gets calm. That's when she starts questioning herself. Did I go too far? Why isn't he responding? What is he thinking? Suddenly, she's the one trapped in her thoughts, not you. This is the essence of strength, to be unshaken by what others do. A man who reacts is predictable. A man who observes is mysterious, and mystery creates respect. You don't have to punish her with anger. Your composure already does it for you. By refusing to react, you protect your dignity, your peace, and your power. So the next time she tries to hurt you, don't fall into the trap of reaction. Breathe, stay calm, step back and watch. Your silence will speak louder than any words, and your presence will remind her that no one controls a man who has mastered himself. When a woman hurts you, the most important thing you must remember is this: never let her actions define your worth. A man's value is not measured by how a woman treats him in a heated moment, nor by whether she appreciates him at every step. Your value comes from within, from the way you carry yourself, from the standards you hold, and from the life you are building. The danger many men fall into is allowing disrespect or rejection to make them question their worth. That's when weakness begins to show. A strong man does not need anyone else to confirm his value. He knows it already. When she disrespects you, tests you, or says something to cut deep, you might feel the urge to prove yourself, to explain why you deserve better treatment, but that's unnecessary. Every time you try to argue for your worth, you lower it. Your actions and your energy should demonstrate your value, not your words. You don't tell someone how precious you are. You live in a way that makes it undeniable. This is why confidence, purpose, and discipline are far more attractive than begging for recognition. Maintaining your value means you never compromise your self-respect. If she tries to make you feel small, you don't shrink, you stand taller. If she pulls away, you don't chase, you remain grounded in who you are. The man who knows his worth doesn't need constant validation because he is already focused on his mission, his growth, and his life. A woman will respect you when she sees that no matter what happens between you two, you don't forget who you are. That steadiness is what separates men who get lost in emotions from men who remain in control. Think of it like this. If you own a diamond and someone fails to see its value, does the diamond suddenly become worthless? No, the diamond remains the same. Its shine doesn't depend on someone recognizing it. It shines regardless. You are that diamond. Whether she sees your worth or not, whether she appreciates it in this moment or not, it doesn't change the fact that your value exists. You must never let temporary pain make you forget permanent truth. Women are naturally drawn to men who know their value because such men are rare. Too many men crumble the moment they are hurt, lowering themselves, begging for love, or trying to prove they are enough. But the man who holds his ground after being hurt, who still walks with confidence, who still respects himself, he commands respect, even from the one who tried to break him. So when you feel pain from her actions, don't let it drag you down. Remind yourself of the man you are and the man you're becoming. Keep investing in your growth, your purpose, and your goals. Carry yourself like someone who cannot be diminished. When you hold on to your value, no one, not even the woman who hurt you, can take it away. When a woman hurts you, your emotions may push you to demand an explanation, to ask her why she did it, or to chase after an apology that you feel you deserve. But here's the truth. Chasing for apologies only weakens you. It places your self-worth in her hands, making it seem as though her words have the power to heal or break you. The moment you run after validation or closure, you lose control. A man who knows his value doesn't need her apology to move forward. His strength comes from within, not from her recognition of his pain. When you beg for her to say, "I'm sorry," you put yourself in the position of the wounded one, and she becomes the one holding power. Instead of seeing you as strong, she sees you as dependent on her approval to feel whole. Women may not admit it openly, but they lose respect for a man who keeps demanding emotional reassurance. Respect is not earned by chasing, it is earned by composure. If she hurt you and knows it, your silence and distance are far more powerful than any demand for an apology. She expects confrontation, she expects questions, maybe even tears or anger. But when you don't give her that reaction, when you pull back calmly instead of chasing, she begins to reflect on her actions. That reflection is far more impactful than any forced "I'm sorry," because apologies spoken under pressure are empty. Realizations made in silence are real. A man who doesn't chase for apologies communicates that he doesn't need external validation. He communicates that while her actions may have hurt him, he still stands tall, unshaken. This kind of strength is magnetic. It unsettles her because she realizes that her words or behavior didn't break you. They only revealed who she truly is. And that revelation puts the responsibility back on her, where it belongs. You must remember, apologies are meaningless unless they come freely. If she truly respects and values you, she will reflect, she will feel it, and she will come back on her own to acknowledge her mistake. And if she doesn't, then that silence has given you your answer. She doesn't value you enough. That knowledge is far more valuable than any half-hearted apology you might have chased. So instead of seeking closure from her words, give yourself closure through your actions. Don't beg for clarity. Don't push for remorse. Stand firm, hold your boundaries, and let her reveal her true self. In the end, chasing for apologies only lowers your dignity, but refusing to chase, refusing to bend, and walking in your strength ensures that whether she apologizes or not, you remain untouchable. When a woman hurts you, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is to either explode in anger or stay completely silent while allowing her to repeat the same behavior. Strength is not found in aggression, nor is it found in passive tolerance. True strength lies in the ability to calmly and firmly set boundaries without drama. Boundaries are not about controlling her, they are about protecting your self-respect. They are the invisible lines that tell her how far she can go with you, and they determine how much respect she will ultimately hold for you. A man who doesn't set boundaries sends the message that his feelings don't matter, that she can treat him however she wants and he'll still remain there, waiting. And once she senses that, the respect she has for him begins to fade. On the other hand, a man who sets boundaries without screaming or begging shows her that he values himself. He communicates that while he may care about her, he refuses to compromise his dignity for her approval. This is what makes a man stand out. When she hurts you, you don't need to lecture her for hours or give a dramatic speech. Boundaries are most effective when they are simple and calm. You don't need to raise your voice. Your composure is the power. For example, instead of shouting, you simply step back. Instead of accusing, you clearly state, "I don't accept being treated that way," and then withdraw. That one action speaks louder than any emotional outburst. She will remember your calmness more than she would have remembered your anger. Boundaries are not about punishment. They are about self-respect. When you create them, you're not trying to control her behavior. You're showing her how you expect to be treated. Whether she chooses to respect those boundaries or not will tell you everything you need to know about her place in your life. If she values you, she will adjust. If she doesn't, then her actions are giving you clarity about her true nature. Either way, your boundaries protect you from being dragged into cycles of disrespect. Drama, on the other hand, kills respect. When you shout, cry, or demand, you look like you're begging for respect rather than commanding it. Women are far more impacted by a man who calmly walks away than by a man who loses control. Silence, composure, and consistent boundaries create a sense of mystery and authority. They force her to reflect on whether she's in the presence of a man she should respect or a man she can manipulate. Setting boundaries without drama isn't about being cold or harsh. It's about valuing yourself enough to walk away from anything that diminishes your worth. A man who has mastered this doesn't just earn a woman's respect, he earns her admiration. Because deep down, every woman knows a man who respects himself will never tolerate being disrespected by anyone else. When a woman hurts you, one of the most powerful responses you can give is to withdraw your attention. Attention is a man's greatest currency. Wherever you place it, you give energy, value, and meaning. When you keep giving it to someone who disrespects you, you reward behavior that should never be rewarded. But when you pull it back, you send a message stronger than words. I will not invest in what doesn't honor me. Most men make the mistake of overcompensating when a woman hurts them. They think if they call her more, explain harder, or prove their loyalty, she will suddenly realize her mistake. But what happens instead? She grows colder. She loses respect. Why? Because chasing communicates that her bad behavior has no consequences. You teach her that no matter what she does, you'll still be there, giving her your time, your presence, and your energy. That is the moment you lose leverage. Withdrawing attention is not about playing games. It's about self-respect. It's about showing that your energy is valuable and not freely available to someone who wounds you. When you stop texting, stop calling, stop showing eagerness after being hurt, she feels the difference. Your absence becomes louder than any argument could ever be. The silence of your attention being gone forces her to reflect. Why isn't he reacting? Why is he pulling away? Did I go too far? What women respect most in a man is his ability to remain in control of himself. When you take back your attention, you prove that your emotions don't control you. You control them. You show that you are not desperate for validation. And this shift instantly creates respect. She may test you to see if your withdrawal is real or temporary, but when you remain consistent, she starts to recognize that your presence is a privilege, not something to be taken for granted. Think of attention like sunlight. A flower grows when it has sunlight, but if the sun disappears, the flower notices its absence immediately. Your attention works the same way. If you keep shining it no matter what she does, she takes it for granted. But the moment you withdraw, she realizes its value. That realization is powerful. It either awakens respect in her or reveals that she never truly valued you in the first place. And here's the truth. A woman can't respect a man whose attention is always available, no matter how she treats him. Respect comes when she knows your presence can be lost if she crosses certain lines. When you withdraw your attention, you are not being cruel, you are being disciplined. You are reminding her and yourself that your energy belongs only where it is valued. So the next time she tries to hurt you, don't waste your words in long explanations. Don't chase for her acknowledgement. Simply pull back your attention. Let her feel the weight of your absence. That silence will echo louder than anything you could ever say. When a woman hurts you, the worst mistake you can make is to get stuck in her actions, replaying them in your mind, questioning yourself, and losing sight of your own path. Pain has a way of distracting you, making you forget who you are and what you're building. That's why the most powerful response is to redirect your energy toward yourself, toward your growth, your goals, and your purpose. The moment you shift focus from her to you, everything changes. A man's strength doesn't come from chasing validation or approval. It comes from living with direction, from pursuing something bigger than emotions. When you invest your time into becoming sharper, stronger, and more disciplined, you instantly create distance from the hurt. The pain loses power over you because your mind is consumed by progress, not by wounds. And this is something most women notice. When you stop pouring energy into her and instead invest in yourself, you transform. That transformation is undeniable and it earns respect in ways words never could. Self-growth is not about proving her wrong or showing her what she lost. It's about proving to yourself what you're capable of. If you were disrespected or hurt, the best revenge is not anger, but evolution. Become the man who is unshakable, the man who is constantly improving. Whether it's advancing in your career, building your body, mastering your craft, or strengthening your mindset, every step you take forward is a statement. I will not be broken. I rise. The truth is, when you sit around waiting for her apology or trying to figure her out, you stagnate. You give her power she doesn't deserve. But when you focus on growth, you take all that energy back and pour it into your own life. Your results, your success, your discipline, these become louder than anything she could ever say. Instead of chasing answers from her, you create a life so powerful that you no longer need them. And here's the secret. Women are drawn to men who grow. They may test, they may push, they may even hurt, but deep down they respect the man who refuses to be shaken off his path, the man who stays focused, who keeps moving forward no matter what, becomes magnetic, not because he tried to win her back, but because he never abandoned himself. That's the kind of energy no one can resist. Focusing on self-growth also gives you clarity. As you grow, you naturally begin to see who deserves a place in your life and who doesn't. You stop tolerating behavior that doesn't match your new standards. Growth raises your value, and with higher value comes higher expectations. The woman who once hurt you may no longer even qualify to stand beside you once you've elevated yourself. So instead of drowning in pain, use it. Let it fuel your discipline, your ambition, your transformation. Every hour you put into becoming better is a silent response to the hurt you felt. And in the end, the man who grows through pain always comes out stronger, wiser, and more powerful than before. When a woman hurts you, the immediate reaction most men have is to confront her, to demand answers, or to make her understand the pain she caused. But this usually backfires. The more you chase, the less she listens. The more you push, the more she pulls away. That's why one of the smartest and strongest things a man can do is give her space and allow her to reflect. Silence and distance are powerful teachers. They create a mirror that forces her to see herself without you needing to say a single word. When you step back, she begins to feel the weight of her own actions. At first, she may act like nothing bothers her, as if your silence doesn't affect her. But time reveals the truth. When she doesn't have your presence, your attention, your energy, she starts noticing the void. That emptiness makes her question, why isn't he reacting? Why isn't he trying to fix this? Did I go too far? These thoughts would never come if you were still chasing, arguing, or trying to make her feel guilty. Space creates curiosity. Curiosity creates reflection. Reflection creates respect. The beauty of giving space is that it protects your dignity. You are not begging, not lowering yourself to emotional battles. You are simply stepping back and letting reality teach her what words cannot. When you don't force her to face her mistakes, she has no one else to blame. She can't accuse you of being dramatic or needy. All she is left with is her own conscience. And if she truly values you, that conscience will begin to bother her. This doesn't mean you disappear forever or play cold games. It means you recognize when pulling back is necessary. Sometimes the silence of a man says more than any speech. It communicates that he will not engage in disrespect, but he also won't waste energy trying to force understanding. A woman respects the man who can walk away when he is hurt more than the man who clings desperately for reassurance. Giving space also gives you power over yourself. It allows you to detach emotionally, to think clearly, and to decide what you really want. Do you want to continue with her? Does she even deserve your energy? Without space, these questions are clouded by emotions. With space, you gain perspective. You see her actions for what they are, not for what you wish them to be. And here's the truth. If she truly cares, she will reflect, she will reach out, and she will try to repair what she broke. If she doesn't, then her silence is your answer. Either way, you win. Because giving space not only teaches her, it also frees you. It keeps you from lowering yourself into unnecessary drama, and it allows you to stand tall in your strength. So the next time she hurts you, don't chase. Don't argue endlessly. Step back. Withdraw your presence. Let her sit with the silence. In that silence, she will either realize your value or expose that she never did. Either way, you remain in control. When a woman hurts you, it's easy to get caught in emotions and forget the bigger picture. You may spend hours trying to decode her words, questioning yourself, or wondering what you could have done differently. But the truth is, there comes a point when you must step back and ask the most important question: does she even deserve me? Not every woman who enters your life is meant to stay, and not every woman deserves the version of you that is loyal, loving, and committed. A man who knows his worth understands that his time, energy, and presence are valuable. If a woman consistently disrespects you, takes you for granted, or deliberately hurts you, then it's not about fixing her behavior. It's about deciding whether she belongs in your life at all. Too many men waste years trying to change a woman who has already shown them who she is. But strength lies in clarity, and clarity comes when you stop asking, why did she do this? And start asking, is this the kind of woman I want by my side? Deciding if she deserves you is not about arrogance, it's about self-respect. Relationships are not charity, they are partnerships. You don't owe her endless chances, and you don't need to tolerate disrespect just because you have feelings. Feelings fade when trust and respect are gone. What stays is the standard you set for yourself. If she can't meet that standard, you must have the courage to walk away. That's not loss, it's protection of your value. Think about it. A man who accepts repeated disrespect teaches her that his love is cheap, that she can do anything and he'll still stay. But a man who decides that his dignity is non-negotiable shows her that love with him is a privilege, and privilege can be lost. That's when she realizes that hurting him doesn't just come with guilt, it comes with consequences. This decision also frees you. When you finally look at her actions, not her excuses, you gain peace. Maybe she made a mistake and regrets it. If she truly values you, her effort will prove it. But if she shows patterns of manipulation, indifference, or constant hurt, then no apology can erase the truth. She does not deserve you. And once you see that, you stop clinging to what's breaking you and start making space for someone who will honor you. The hardest part for most men is detachment, but detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself enough to not accept less than you deserve. It means you choose strength over desperation. When you decide whether she deserves you, you shift the power back to where it belongs, within you. You are no longer waiting for her actions to define your worth. You define it yourself. In the end, the question isn't whether you love her. The real question is whether she's worthy of the man you are and the man you are becoming. If the answer is no, then the strongest move you can make is to let go with dignity and never look back. At the end of the day, how you handle a woman who hurts you determines the kind of man you are. Weak men react, beg, and lose themselves in the process. Strong men stay calm, observe, set boundaries, and never let pain shake their value. They don't chase apologies, they withdraw attention, they focus on their own growth, and they give space that forces reflection. And above all, they ask the most important question: does she even deserve me? When you master these principles, you no longer fear being hurt because you know nothing and no one can take away your strength. A woman may test you, she may wound you, but she can never break a man who chooses self-respect over desperation. Remember, your worth is not defined by how she treats you, but by how you respond to her treatment. Handle yourself like a man of value, and the world, including her, will have no choice but to respect you.